You've put together the clarinet, now it's time to make your first tone. So something very important to creating first tone is embouchure. And the word embouchure really refers to how you put your mouth around the mouthpiece. And it's very critical that you get this part right to make the nicest sound that you can on the clarinet. So after we've put the clarinet together, I teach my students how to hold the clarinet up. The right thumb needs to go under the thumb rest. So the thumb rest, it might have a cushion on it, it might not, but the thumb goes underneath that thumb rest and then holds the clarinet up from the back. The top teeth help hold the clarinet in place as well. And it's very important that when students produce their first tone, their top teeth rest firmly right here on the top of the mouthpiece. And very often I'll put a rubber patch here to help young beginners grip the top of the mouthpiece with their teeth better. And you can actually see a line where my mouth rests on the top. So the top teeth sink in. And sometimes I'll come around and shake a kid's barrel just a little bit. And if it wobbles back and forth, I know that the top teeth are not firmly in place. After the top teeth are on firmly, I may check and just wiggle a clarinet like this in my classes. And if it wiggles back and forth, I know that it's not firmly in place. If I cannot wiggle it back and forth, I know that those top teeth are bearing down with the right amount of pressure. For good embouchure, the bottom lip needs to be just a little bit rolled over the teeth. I tell my students that it's a little bit like putting chapstick on. So imagine you have a tube of chapstick and you're stretching your bottom lip out and you're applying chapstick. So you want to stretch the bottom lip out and a little bit goes over the teeth. Not too much and not push down so that none is over the teeth. Very important that just a little bit of the bottom lip goes over the teeth. Once the top teeth and the bottom lip are in place, it should look like this. And my chin muscles are drawn nice and flat. I always tell my students it's a little bit like making a milkshake face. So if you're drinking through a straw and you're drinking a really thick like Abbott's milkshake, you stretch those muscles nice and firmly towards the floor. And to form good embouchure, you need to engage these muscles. We work a lot on that after students are kind of on the ground and getting a good sound. So the top teeth will be in position, the chin will be flat, the bottom lip is rolled a little bit over the teeth, and the corners close. And then at that point, you have to blow into the clarinet much harder than you would blow on a recorder. And a lot of my students are used to blowing just a little amount of air on a recorder, so that can take some getting used to. So it should look and sound like this. This hand here is going to have a job to do. When we play our first 5 notes on the clarinet, we always start with the one I just played. It's called open G. And open G, we're not pressing any of the tone holds. Usually in the first lesson, I'll introduce the notes from G down to C. So going down, I'm going to add my thumb onto thumb F, then my first finger for E, the middle finger for D, and then my ring finger on the C key, which has no ring around it. So I'm going to play those 5 notes, and these are introduced in the first lesson. And that's where we'll start and practice for a while on those 5 notes and making some songs out of those.